Hey everyone, how are you doing? It's Marla, long time no see. Hopefully this lighting is okay and you're going to be able to see all the favorites that I want to share with you today. You will not believe kind of the setup I have, and it is one of my favorites. I have this little tiny mini little tripod I got. I don't know if it was $10 or if it was $16, but it was some ungodly cheap amount, and it's a little tiny tripod that you can stick on something like a shoebox, which I have mine on, and you can pull it open. There's a little spring mechanism on it, and you can shove your iPhone in there. And I actually have my iPhone in there with an OtterBox on it, so it really has a lot of give. And then once you release the spring, it locks down on your iPhone and you can film. So for any budding YouTubers that don't want to spend a lot of money on a big tripod or things like that, I will try to find the name of this one and put it in my video. And hopefully I'm not lopsided. I have the tripod here, but hopefully we're not lopsided. But anyway, good to see everybody in YouTube land. And I want to say hi. I've missed everybody. I will probably only be doing one more video this year, and it's a PR video. And the reason I am doing that one is normally I don't do PR I don't like. I don't kind of like to do a video that's a total negative video on products that I was sent for free. But this video is on 3 hair care products. One is an apple cider vinegar rinse for my hair, one's a conditioner, and one is actually a hair kind of touch-up dye that I love so much. I've never heard of the company, and I don't even remember the name off the top of my head, but that's going to be in the video after this, and that'll probably be it for the year for me. I actually started an Instagram account. I only have like a small number of people, like 30 people right now, because I haven't really broadcast that I have this account. I wanted to set it up because I know a lot of you know what I'm going through with my son, and I need kind of creative outlets that don't take a lot of time for me during the day. And I love taking pictures. I love taking pictures of my dogs. I love taking pictures of Colorado. I love taking pictures of faces of the day. I also put pictures in there of my favorite products. It's just a lot easier for me to kind of take a picture of something I really like, post it on Instagram, and not have to kind of have this set up with my tripod, the lighting, and all this crap. And right now I don't have a lot of time because of my son. So anyway, let's get into the favorites that I'm about to show. Now I have a big box of favorites here, but I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible and go through these as quickly as possible in some kind of rational order. So I guess what I'm going to start with is I think I'm going to start with facial stuff like makeup. And I would have to say 2 palettes that I have loved more than any other. No, actually, I think I'll start with foundation because that's kind of goes on before I put my eye makeup on. I right now have on a combination of Becca's Luminous, what is the name of that? Luminous Silk Foundation or whatever it is. Becca's foundation mixed with a little bit of the Nars Sheer Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. I think that's the name of it. I mix the 2 of those together and I have it on my face right now. But sometimes I also like to use this because I think this is just as good as any high-end foundation I own. It is by L'Oreal. It is the Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. I'm going to list all the products that I'm talking about today in the info box in case anybody's interested. I love this foundation. I have it in Caramel Beige 209. It's a tad too dark for me. However, by the time I put my concealer on and blend it out, it's perfect. It gives me great coverage. I have an oily T-zone area, but I don't find this to be oily or greasy on my skin. It just isn't for me. I love it. This has probably been my most favorite foundation from the drugstore that I've ever purchased. And I like having a little bit of a glow because I'm older now. I don't like the look of dry skin. This is a great foundation. So this would probably be my #1 favorite for foundations that I found for the past 6 months. Now for eyeshadow palettes. I have 2 favorite eyeshadow palettes. One is, ta-da, of course, the Morphe 350 palette. I love this palette so much. You can do so many looks with this. This is the one that has the mixture of the shimmer shades and the matte shades, and I can do a complete eye look with this. Love it. Can't say enough about it. I like it because it has a lot of warm tones, and I'm a big warm tone person, and I even am getting to start to use more of these orange shades, which I normally wouldn't have used before, but if I mix them with a little bit of the browns, they look beautiful. But I find these to be really, I find this to be a really good palette. I like the shadows in here. I think the consistency of the shadows is really pretty good, and the price point, you just can't beat it. So this has been one of my favorite palettes. The other one is, guess. Can you guess what the other one is? Come on, think about what you've seen on every YouTube channel lately. Oh yes, of course. I had to get this, the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. After I saw the colors in this, I could not resist it because I thought it had so many gorgeous, warm colors in here. These shadows are amazing. They're as good as everybody says they are. The only two shadows I have a problem with are these two kind of pinkish ones, and it's just my eyelids for some reason. I don't know if there's some type of dye color in there or what, but it breaks my eyelids out and it gives me a really bad rash on my lids. So unfortunately, I have to avoid the pinks, but this is as good as they say it is. If you don't have it, you're looking for a great palette, this is great. I love this. Okay, so those are the two of my favorite eyeshadow palettes. Next would be blushes. These are the only two blushes I've used literally for the past 6 months, I think. I've used this MAC Melba, which is a great color for someone with my skin coloring, the kind of olive Mediterranean complexion. And I am a double blusher, like a lot of people are. I love to kind of layer blushes. So I put this one on first, and then I say to myself, you know what? I think I need a little bit more blush. And that's when I put on this little Nars one I got. I think I got this at from being a VIB Rouge person for the year or something. And this is MAC Melba, and then this is Nars. Is it Goulue? Goulue. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous shade. I love it when I really want to just give a pop of pink to my cheeks. Really pretty. So I've been layering these two. Have not been using any other blush for the past couple months. My face, not under my eyes, but kind of around my nose and on my forehead. This thing is almost broken. And you know me, I have a lot of makeup that I love, and a lot of times it's hard for me to hit pan, but I am about to hit pan on this, and I can't believe it. It is the It Cosmetics, and it is the Your Skin But Better CC Airbrush Perfecting Powder. I got this with the CC cream, which I don't like, but I love this. It has this little sponge, which is totally filthy, that you put right in there and then you have it on top. But this does give my skin kind of an airbrush appearance. It just does. I love it. I just pat it in there and pat it around my nose and on my forehead. It's great. It doesn't ever look cakey, and I'm really surprised that I've been using this entire time, ever since I got this, which has been a couple months ago. This is my favorite powder for just kind of powdering around my nose and my forehead. I also love these Smashbox, and I don't know why they're so filthy. I think the black has been wearing off of these pencils. I love these Smashbox correctors. I have the green, which I put around my nose, and a little bit here where I have some pock marks from chicken pox. And then under my eyes, I put the orange, the darker orange one, right here under my eyes to try to help correct the horrible dark circles that I have under my eyes. But I love these because these really blend right into my skin. I hardly have to do anything but press my finger on there or press a sponge on there, and it just blends it and shears it out beautifully, and it never comes through as looking green or orange under my makeup. My favorite brush, okay, there's a little story behind this. This is a sponge head, but when I originally got this is the Etude House Secret Brush 121. I got it off of Amazon. It originally had a little brush head on it, and it was trying to kind of mimic the Artiste brushes, but this was only $11. For the longest time, I had the brush on it, and I was using it, but it was just, number one, the head is too small to kind of try to put foundation all over your face, and the brush was okay, but I just didn't necessarily like the brush itself. But it came with this little sponge that you could take the brush off and then snap on this little sponge head. And you can see it's all green because what I use this for is I put on my Smashbox around my nose, the corrector, and then I just press this sponge around my nose and it just blends out the corrector instantly. So this is such a great little gadget that I ordered another one, and I'm going to take the brush off, the brush head off the other one and put the sponge on and then use it for getting in my my concealer under my eyes. But this has been a great cheap purchase that I got off of Amazon, the Etude House Secret Brush 121. For lippies, I have a lot of lippies that I got this year, and I've got a ton of MAC lippies. I've kind of gone back to MAC a little bit, but if I had to say my #1 lip has probably been as a result of Maybelline, and it's the Color Jolts. I have 3 of these. The other one is up in my purse. I have the Never Bare, which is kind of a pinkish one. I have Strip Down, which is my favorite. This is the one that kind of is a really great nude for my skin coloring. And then I also have, I think it's called Fight Me Fuchsia, but that's upstairs. But the reason I like these so much is I can stick this in my car in the 95-degree weather we've been having in Colorado, and it doesn't melt. It has a great tip applicator. There's a little, I don't know if you can see, there's a little hole in the applicator there, and that's where all the product comes out. It comes to a little bit of a point at the top, so it's easy to get around all the corners of your lip. But this has been my favorite lippy. I love those, and even though it's tiny, there really is a lot of product in here. You don't realize there is a lot. So my favorite lippy so far has been this one by Maybelline. For eyes, 2 products for eyes. One is my favorite tight liner for my upper eye area, and this is, oh dear, I think this is by Maybelline. Sadly, the whole name has worn off. I think this is by Maybelline. I will list it below, but it looks like kind of square right now, there's like a circle tip diameter at the end. But I love this because I can put it, you know, I have barely there kind of lashes, and I need to tight line my upper lid area in order to make my lashes look a little thicker. But this is great. This doesn't bother my contacts, and it really stays in place. After I tight line that area, it stays there. So favorite liner for tight lining, it's a pencil, but it's definitely a drugstore, and I'm pretty sure it's by Maybelline, but I will list it below in the description box. I forgot the name right now off the top of my head. Favorite eyelash primer. Again, my eyelashes are non-existent. I need everything. I need anything I can do to kind of help them. I know you see a lot of eyelash primers that are kind of have that white material that you paint on your lashes, and then you put your mascara on to make it look, your lashes look thicker and longer. This one is really my favorite. This is by Shiseido, and it is the Nourshing Mascara Base. What I like about this one, it's clear. It just has a clear consistency. There's no color to it. It looks like Vaseline on the end of it, but it's not, and you just brush it. I curl my eyelashes and I push this all over my lashes, and then I put my mascara on. What I like about this one is it keeps my lashes curled. My eyelashes refuse to stay curled. They want to go straight again, or they want to go in many different directions, but they don't want to kind of curl up. But if I curl my eyelashes with an eyelash curler and I put this on, my lashes will stay in place. And this definitely acts as a thickening agent for my mascara. So it makes my mascara look thicker, it makes my eyelashes look thicker and longer, but it's not gunky, or it doesn't get hard either. This has been a favorite product for my eyelashes. Favorite bronzers, there are 2. The first one is by MAC. It is their bronzing powder, and I have it in refined golden. And what I like about this, it has some little gold and flecks in it, but it doesn't look glittery. And I actually get it in almost the same shade of my skin, so I can just kind of put this all over my face to kind of warm up my foundation, make it a little bit warmer without making my skin look really dark or orange. But favorite bronzers, and the other one is by Too Faced. I use this all the time. I know it's summer, but I am using Too Faced Snow Bunny. Love this too. I just swirl my brush in there and I just pile it right on top of everything else, and it just kind of gives me a little bit of a glow. and it's just beautiful. It just makes my skin look gorgeous. So these have been two of my favorite bronzers. For my hair, I have gray hairs that show up a little bit right here in between dyeing my hair, and I kind of want to cover them up without dyeing my hair right away. I mean, I kind of like to space out the amount of time that I dye my hair. So what I use is I use this L'Oreal Root Cover Up to cover up temporary gray hair, and this is in dark brown, and you just shake it up and you find the gray hairs and you squirt it on, and my gray hairs are now brown. So I use this almost every day in between the time when my grays start to show, but I'm not quite ready yet to dye it. And this is great. It's lasted a long time. I've had this for months and it's still pretty full. So I use that almost every day. Okay, I only have a couple more things to go. For my face, I am a huge needler. I do a lot of needling on my face. I really think it helps a little bit. It's tough when you start to get older because your wrinkles are just there and it's kind of hard to avoid them. But I do micro needle. I have a kit that I got that I use everything in it. I will post the link to my Banish kit below, and that's where I got one of my micro needling apparatuses. But I also use the Pore Smasher, which if you don't know what that is, it's up in my freezer right now, but it's a little gadget that I keep in my freezer, and in the morning when my eyes are really puffy, I apply it to my eyes and just kind of gently roll it over my eyes, and it really helps with the depuffing of my eyes, and it feels so good on my face. I don't have the Pore Smasher with me, but if you go down to the description box, under my Banish kit video, you will see the Pore Smasher there. That has also been one of my favorite products besides the micro needling apparatus. Okay, for skincare, for my body in the bath, this has been probably by far one of my most favorite purchases. I got this at Walgreens, and the only reason I bought it was it had a $1 off coupon. I had never heard of this company. It's called J.R. Watkins, and it's a sugar body scrub. It's paraben-free, phthalate-free, propylene glycol-free, and dye-free. 100% natural. This is the one in lemon cream. This smells like, I don't know, it smells like a lemon meringue pie. When I put this on myself in the shower, I just want to eat my arms and legs. It is so good. But the reason I like this particular scrub so much is that there's a little bit of emollient agents in here. A lot of times I would put a scrub on myself in the shower. This has very big kind of sugary crystals, so it does a really good, kind of a slightly rougher job of exfoliating your skin on your body. But what I like about this, it has I think it's the shea butter in there that really leaves my skin feeling almost like there's a very thin layer of oil on it, but not greasy oil. And a lot of times I would use a scrub and then come out of the shower and my skin would be kind of dry, and then I'd have to take the extra time of putting a little bit of oil on my skin or moisturizer. With this, it kind of does double duty. It is a really good scrub for exfoliating your skin, and at the same time, when you pat yourself dry, your skin feels super, 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 I don't know, it just feels really smooth and dry. So I really, really love this. It's probably one of the cheap, inexpensive, not cheap, it was probably like $6 or $7 with my coupon, but it is so yummy in the shower. I actually feel like I'm in a spa. It's so good. For my face, 2 products that I have been using a lot. One is my Herbivore Phoenix Cell Regenerating Facial Oil. I like this. This smells like roses. If you don't like the smell of roses, you're not going to like this because it has rose hip oil in it. It has a lot of other things in it. I don't know off the top of my head, but it's supposed to regenerate your skin, rejuvenate your skin, make the texture of your skin better. I love this. I only need a little bit. I've had this since January and I still have almost half the bottle left of it. If I had to get another oil again, I probably would purchase this again. I love the smell of it. I love the way it makes my face feel nice and soft. It does sink into my face, and it is, I think, a very good serum slash facial oil. So the Herbivore Phoenix Cell Regenerating Facial Oil, and it has rose hips in it. Absolutely love this. Another product that I like for my face, which is skincare, is a product that I originally hated. It's grown on me, and now I can't live without it. And what it is the Korres Golden Crocus Elixir. Both these products are expensive, but they do last a long time. I got a supersized sample of this from Sephora, and I started using it, and I thought, oh, I don't like this. Number one, I don't like the smell of it. There's something manly about the smell. It's not perfumey. I can't even describe what it is. It's not a spa smell, but there's something just, I don't know, it smells a little masculine to me. I don't know. So at first I didn't like the smell. And then when I put it on my face, it felt a little tacky at first, and then I didn't like that. But then for some reason I kept using it every day. I really started to fall in love with this. What it is it's kind of like a milky serum. It looks like that. You take a few drops of it and you put it on your skin, on your face, and you just keep pulling your skin back, like pulling it up as if you're giving yourself a facial, and it almost tightens and blurs my lines. I can't even describe what it does, but I love this. And the smell has grown on me. I actually like the smell now. But this is great. I feel like it just tightens my face. I feel like it leaves a really good base on my skin, super smooth for putting my makeup on. It's grown on me. So this is another product that would be definitely in my favorites. It's Korres Golden Crocus Elixir. And let's see, I have just a couple more and I'll be done. This is probably by far my favorite purchase for the year. This is a foot file that I got off of Amazon, and this is O'Keeffe's for healthy feet. You know, when I was in Florida in January and February, I was going up an escalator and there was a guy ahead of me. And you know how sometimes you look at people's feet, because everybody has sandals on in Florida a lot of times. Well, I was looking at this guy's feet and he had the grossest, most disgusting callus on his heels, like these giant, hard, cracked heels. I thought to myself, God, I don't ever want to let my feet get like that. So I came out here to Colorado. My feet were fine when I was in Florida. I come out here to Colorado and my feet start getting super dry. And I start to develop that callousy heel that was really cracked and had little, it would almost catch on my socks. I tried so many different pumice stones, foot files. I had the pet egg. I had that little machine, I forget what it is, that I have trying to get through. It wasn't doing anything. I tried those baby feet. They did nothing. I think that's the name of them. Those little masks that you put on your feet did nothing for my feet. I got this foot file off of Amazon and I started filing that whole callus off. You have to be careful because this is sharp. It's very fine, but you don't want to go down to the bare raw skin, basically. But I did this all over my heels, and then I would apply O'Keeffe's for healthy feet twice a day initially. Now I only have to do this once a week, and I do this maybe every other day or every third day, and my feet and heels are baby soft. If I had to pick one product out of all these products, even including the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette as my favorites, these would be my favorites because they made my feet look young again. But they really did. These two products together, oh my gosh, I love them so much. Something I don't have in front of me right now that I actually has grown on me. I don't like coconut oil to remove my eye makeup because a lot of times I like to remove my mascara and I would, sometimes rub the coconut oil along my lash line to get my mascara loosened up and it would blur my eyes and I hated it. So for actually kind of cleaning up my my lash line, I liked the DHC Deep Cleansing Oil. I would put that on my face and kind of rub it all along my lash line. And that would be, that was one of my favorites. But I recently started using coconut oil, just a touch of it. You can't use too much of it because if you use too much of it, your face will get really oily. But I was getting these super dry lids. And I think it's because I'm out in Colorado and it's dry and hot. But for some reason, my lids were getting super not cracky, but almost scaly. And I thought to myself, you know what? None of these serums are helping my dry lids because I would pile it on at night and I would wake up, my lids would be dry in the morning. One night I decided, you know what? I'm just going to take a little bit of coconut oil and rub it all over my face and put it on my lids and put it on my lips and see how my face is in the morning. When I woke up the next morning, my lids were completely smooth, no scales on them. My face felt super smooth. So I have, let me see if I can get it, hold on. I get the Virgin Unrefined 100% coconut oil. Put a little bit of this on my face at night, and wow, my skin is so soft in the morning. It works better than any of my high-end creams. I can't believe it. So I don't like it really for taking my makeup off, but I do like it for my dry skin. So coconut oil has been one of my favorites recently. It's on top of my list. Okay, 2 more things, and then I'll give you a quick update on what's going on in my house. For a lip balm or a lip cream, I know I told you I like the DHC Deep Cleansing Oil as a facial oil. I also like their lip cream. This is almost like a typical lip balm, like a chapstick. It's, what was that sound my belly just made? It's kind of thin, so it's almost like a lipstick. The reason I like this lip balm is it makes my lips feel super soft and it takes away a lot of the dryness, but it's very thick and it adheres to your lips. It doesn't bleed. I hate when I put, you know, like something on my lips and it feels like it's like all the chapstick is starting to bleed outside my lips and starting to get on my skin. This is almost like a regular lipstick. You put it on, it's so moisturizing. No odor to it at all, but you put it on your lips and it adheres to your lips. It's like a big, nice, thick coating of a lip balm that stays right on your lips. So for a favorite lip balm, DHC lip creams are my favorite. I have one of these in literally almost every room in my house and in my purse. These are great. Okay, so this is my most favorite. This is Sophie. She is a Labradoodle. She is the newest member of our family. She is a Spitfire. She is keeping me quite busy. She is beautiful. She has greenish hazel eyes. She's very bad. I'm trying to keep her a little bit under control, but she is the most favorite of all, of everything I have, including Sam and Maya, my other dogs. But I wanted to introduce her. She is probably the most favorite thing that I have and I'm going to have this year. And finally, what I'm using right now, I'm going to actually take my camera off and show you what I'm using for any of you budding YouTubers that want to create your own YouTube channel. I'm going to show you what I use here. I put it on top of a shoebox with some lights on the side, but it's a great way to start YouTubing if you don't want to put a lot of money into a big tripod and things like that. What's really cool is if you want to use your iPhone, you can actually place your iPhone in this little mini tripod, and then all you have to do is put this mini tripod on something, a chair or box or whatever, and it holds your camera even with my OtterBox on. I'll take this off in a second and show you what it looks like. And you can adjust it. You can like tilt it. You can't adjust it like taller or shorter, but you can adjust the tilt of it. So I can, for example, tilt you that way, or I can tilt you that way, or I can tilt you that way. That's a good way to do it. But let me take my camera off this in a second and I will show you what it looks like. I think I only paid like $12 for this thing, but it is, you know me, goofy gadgets. I love goofy gadgets. So I will show this picture of this at the end of the video. Okay, that's it for my favorites. I'm going to have one more video coming up, and that's going to be on some hair care products, some conditioners, some apple cider vinegar rinse I love from this company, and also their hair kind of touch-up dye. And that'll probably be it for the year for me. I think I mentioned this in the beginning of the video. I have an Instagram account. If you go to Instagram and look for this thing right here, you should find me, and you'll see pictures of my dogs, pictures of where I live, pictures of Colorado, pictures of my face of the day, pictures of my favorite makeup, pictures of my favorite skincare. It's an easy way to kind of, for me to be a little creative, because I think Instagram is a little creative. I mean, you have to pick up filters, you have to take the picture itself. So it's a way for me to kind of have a creative outlet while I'm dealing with my son's issues. And if you don't know, I really don't want to go over it again because it just is so draining for me to talk about it. But for those of you who don't know what my son is dealing with, I'll post the video below. And unless you have a child that is on psych meds, or you're on psych meds, or you have someone that was put on a benzodiazepine, you're really not going to understand what the video is below about. So you may not even want to look at that video. But for someone struggling with benzodiazepine discontinuation, there are people out there for you. There is a whole community of people on Facebook that It's a closed group of people dealing with recovery from benzodiazepines. But again, I don't want to really get into it again because it's very draining for me to talk about. Needless to say is my son is better than he was originally, but it's going to be a very, very long. My camera shut off there for a minute. My phone's about to go out of space. So let me make this quick. Unless you've dealt with a benzodiazepine discontinuation, you're not really going to be able to understand the video below, and you may not even want to go there. But anybody out there who's having issues with the benzodiazepine discontinuation, you can go to my video. There are people out in the world, thousands of people that are on Facebook, in Facebook closed groups that are support groups for you, and all you need to do is seek and you shall find. Because there are groups of people out there dealing with psych med drug discontinuation and also benzodiazepine discontinuation, and you can find a lot of support on the internet. My son is doing better than he was originally, but he has a very long way to go. Don't think he's even going to be himself again for 2 years. So he's lost basically 2 years of his life. So we shall see, but it's a long haul. I need a lot of kind of breaks in respect. And the reason I started my Instagram account is to kind of give me a creative break so I can have something else to kind of think about instead of constantly thinking about his issues. But I appreciate all the wonderful comments. I appreciate the prayers. I appreciate anybody that's going to keep praying for my son. I really appreciate it so much, you have no idea. But anyway, these are my favorites. I'm going to disconnect my little camera from this thing and show you what this little tripod looks like for anybody that's interested in maybe starting your own YouTube channel or making your own YouTube videos. Making YouTube videos is a lot of fun, and it's a kind of a release. It's just, I don't know, it makes me feel good when I make YouTube videos sometimes. But I want to say goodbye for now, and hold on a minute. I'm going to take this apart and you'll see what this little gadget looks like in a minute. Okay, so this is the little gadget I was talking to you about for holding my iPhone. It's a little tripod, and you can stand it up like that. And what you do is there's a spring mechanism here, and you can see, you can squeeze your iPhone in here, and then your iPhone basically lays in there. And then the tripod can kind of be twisted to the side like that, or straight up. But it's a great little gadget for anyone who wants to start filming, not invest a lot of money in a tripod, and it's very flexible. This is the height it stays. I'm trying to see if I can get that better. There we go. This is the height it normally stays, and as I said before, this tilts, this little head tilts any way you want it, but you can just prop it on like a shoebox right there, just like I do. And you can start filming your own videos. So if I can remember the name of this, I will put it in the description box below. This has been really a favorite gadget of mine that I've been using for the past couple months. I love it.